Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophia, pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking ocean/industrial age era concepts, which were translated first by Japanese scholars and now Chinese, simplified, traditional, all follow the same way of framing this into the Chinese culture. Okay, 直岛 is today's character, and you can see this Dao is the one that got simplified, and the Dao is more like 2,000 years ago script language. CO script version of rendering. So over time, things got more streamlined, simplified, right? Okay, 直岛. We have well, in this frame, we have a five finger. Okay, let me get this up. So this is our five finger hand symbol. We have seen this a lot. And the right side here is something sweet. So this is our mouth symbol. This came from the ancient pot. The two corners are the pot handles. And eventually the cookware is associated with the diner. So it becomes the mouth symbol. And when we have one horizontal line in it, that means it tastes sweet. We want to hold that. So imagine ancient candy. So that's something we want to keep, hang on to. So when we have something in our mouth for a longer time, then that means it's sweet. And then here, this is almost like an ancient spoon. You can almost view it like shoveling into your mouth. So here, when we have the hand symbol next to you're feeding yourself something good, that's fingering. And I like a finger, the digits of our hands, because I would imagine ancient times, well, we all know Chinese would use chopsticks. But for something like ancient candy, saying, right? We know sugar cane was probably still popular these days, that people can use just finger food, hold in their hand and feed them sweet, exactly how this picture painted. And eventually this, finger food, we use this feeding ourselves with fingers to this behavior to refer to fingers themselves. So finger eventually, just like an index finger, this index finger becomes pointing. So 指, there are some logic deduction here that from the feeding finger food to fingers to pointing of the fingers. So almost like finger is the middle connecting point, but this feeding with a good food to pointing somewhere is like a two use of a finger. We transfer from feeding function to pointing function. So it's almost like from survival to making sense to directing somewhere, right? All right, so 岛. This 岛 is a little bit more complicated. We have the three finger hand symbol, which is here. This is our three finger hand symbol, look like that. And in this one frame, we see both five finger hand symbol and three finger hand symbol. By the way, the five finger hand symbol have to be differentiated toward the right because we have the exact same looking thing. That means here. And somebody add, okay, if we have this left side tilt of the middle finger, it will be here. And right will be hand. So to disambiguous, somebody later on add these two directions. So this is the five finger and this is a three finger hand symbol. And then we have this horizontal line roughly here. And that's ancient Chinese medicine practice of pulse reading that the doctors would place about 1 inch down from your wrist. I don't know exactly which fingers they place, but they here to read your pulse. And that pulse reading can become this effective, cheap, readily available anywhere, a human to human diagnostic device or practice. Like we use human body as the device to read another human biomarker, which is the pulse. And that practice eventually, because this is kind of universal, anybody who have seen a Chinese doctor back then would understand this means you measure 1 inch down. So this eventually becomes the quantification. You have to be exact, that 1 inch down. Do things in a measured way. Okay, here, this is hard to draw. Okay, this cactus looking thing here is hard to draw. This is our food symbol, specifically right foot. So I guess majority of Chinese is right-handed, right-footed. That's our, simply the dominant side of a human body. So when we represent a foot, we have two. Which one to be represented? We use the right one. So this is the big toe, middle toes, 3 middle toes. This is the pinky, and this is the sole of the foot. So that's how Chinese abstract foot symbol. When the foot symbol by itself, it means stop, standing still. When we attach 3 strokes like this on top of it, that means you're progressing through space, you're walking. And in fact, these are the foot marks left by the left foot. The reason why I know is because we have another Chinese character. Okay, I'm running out of space, squiggling. This is our walking symbol. It's symmetrical. So simply progressing through space. And because Chinese is first-person perspective, we look at this frame, this framework, from the first-person perspective. So it's you, the observer, looking at things from, I'm trying to make the eyelashes. Anyways, you're looking from this side, and this is your side. So you're progressing through space. And because we have a 2D space, we cannot express moving distance, horizontally distance. So in this 2D frame, it almost like you're walking upwards toward the sky, but nobody do that, right? So we know that this means horizontally, you're walking further away. And because we have 2 feet, so we have total 6 strokes. So when Chinese repeat 3 times, that doesn't mean 3. It means many, many, almost like 10 to the third, 1,000 steps, something like that. So it means lots of steps moving through space, and eventually we get rid of the right side. And this is too much. We just keep the left side, marks, attach it to the foot symbol to make the whole thing means walking. So this walking sign, and then we have here, okay, this is here. Okay, your upper lip with the groove in between your nose and your mouth. Everybody have a groove there. So this is how Chinese express that. And then 2 horizontal lines. How to say that? Is our verticalized nostril. So we have nostrils. I mean, technically the nostrils should be on top of this, right? But somehow it plays down there. So we have the 2 nostrils plus this groove thing is the center of the face, the very center point of face. And then somebody would connect the whole thing, like draw a box, kind of like that, to mean the peripherals of the face. So we have just like how mathematically we define a circle. We would define the center of the circle, and then draw the peripheral of the circle. In the same idea, Chinese developed the whole face. So this is a mian. This is the whole face by focusing on the very center, the little structures in the center and misplaced a little, and then draw the peripheral, the edges, just like how math we express circle. And that's our face symbol. Then attached to the face are 3 flowing hairs. And now you see 3 doesn't mean we only have 3 hairs, right? It's many, many hairs growing over there. So this symbol actually means a detached head because whose hair would go vertically, right? But again, just like this means progressing further away. So not necessarily related to a vertical motion. It could be horizontally further away. But here, these 3 hairs attached to the face symbol means the head of things. So when you have the head plus the foot, the walking, so it's like purposefully because you have your head, right? Your head directed walking. And that's a Chinese way of the way, Dao, that English people understand as Dao, right? The way. You walk with your head, literally. And now when we have walk with your head, plus the measured way of walk with the head, it's almost, you not only know the way, like the purpose of doing things, you also know the exact how to do there. And that eventually means lead. It's okay. In between that, there is also a sense of, say you're a tourist, you're asking for the way, and the locals will point you, right? Direct you, show you the way. And then how they do it, they have to measure, tell you, you turn left, and then 2 blocks down, you turn right to give you this measured way to get there. So this almost like a GPS thing, this directing the direction to give you the directions, Chinese create the character Dao literally means to give you directions, where to go. And when we have this finger pointing plus give you the directions, the GPS function together, it means to guide. Okay, let me turn this off. To guide you. Whoa, sorry, I didn't know I carry over to the second page. To guide you to go to places. So how we guide people with literally pointing our fingers toward somewhere, right? That's our behavior. And then this Dao is to show you the way in a measured way. So that's 指导. Thank you for your time. See you